What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market was all over the place today, guys. S&P 500 pretty much broke even. The Dow Jones ended up going up 112 points, up 0.4%. And the NASDAQ 100 went down 0.4%, down about 50 points on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, and also going over the top stocks here that I'm looking to buy right now in October of 2020. And I also want to break down where my head is at, my thought process right now in the stock market as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, hit the like button for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out all the free links down below: the Strive Smart Discord chat, the Strive Smart Facebook group, and you guys can also get 2 free stocks. Yes, you heard me right. 2 free stocks from WeBull, valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100. Using that link, you get 2 free stocks, and I also get 2 free stocks, guys. And I really do appreciate it if you guys do use that link. So let's get into it. S&P 500, again, all across the board here. It was a choppy day. We started off very bullish. You guys can see we broke out of the downtrend here on the 5-day, 5-minute, which we were talking about in the previous couple of videos. Notice how, and even yesterday we mentioned how this was potentially a bull trap, right? And notice how we broke the trend, right? We broke the 180 SMA resistance. We broke this other downtrend that really signifies lower lows and lower highs over the past couple of days. And quite honestly, guys, we're seeing a bullish cross here, right? We're seeing the 50 SMA cross above the 180 SMA, which whenever a smaller time frame moving average crosses above a larger time frame moving average, that's typically a bullish signal. So we gapped up, did very well early on in the day, arguably got overbought, right? S&P at 35.16, and then from there we saw a big drop, a rally back up to 35.07. We failed breaking the high from earlier in the day. And then when power hour hit, the last hour in the market, we absolutely tanked. We went from 35.07 all the way down to about 34.83, shedding about 25 points in literally 1 hour here on the S&P 500. So it's arguable at this point. Who won the day? Was it the bulls? Was it the bears? Well, it's honestly, guys, it seems like the bulls won the day at first. Again, gapping out of the downtrend here, the moving averages. We hit a nice high, for the past 3 days. Actually, no, the past 2 days, we hit a high in the market. Right, we broke yesterday's high and the closing price from the previous day as well, so that was good. So the bulls won the day at first, but the bears came in and did their thing for the rest of the day. So that's why it's kind of arguable. And one thing here that stands out to me right off the bat, and you guys can probably see it as well, S&P held 34.80. That's very critical, right? 34.80 was a resistance from last week on the 10th, or actually the 9th here of October. We held that as a support. You guys can also see earlier in this week, we triple bottomed at 34.80, and you guys can see it here, and we rallied up. So that also made it a big support. And mind you, we also closed at 34.80 yesterday, and we closed above it today, which is also a good sign. So again, it's arguable. Who won the day? Let me know your thoughts down below. But for me, it seems like the bulls are slowly starting to gain an edge just because we broke out of the downtrend and we ended up holding yesterday's closing price as a support today. So for next week, guys, and especially on Sunday night when the futures market opens, you guys have to look at, are we going to hold 34.80? This is very, very critical in terms of determining direction, because if we break 34.80 and we slowly start to gap down, we might see a move on the S&P, and I've been calling out this level as well, maybe down to 34.30, right? That's if 34.80 breaks. But let's say we get a big gap up, we get a pop above 34.80, and we slowly start to gap up and go and test the highs from today, one high being 35.15 and the other high being 35.07. That's going to be extremely bullish for the market. And quite honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but we might be going back up to those highs from earlier in October. The high in this month being about 35.50. So next week's going to be huge in terms of determining direction. And of course, the volatility is here to stay. We saw the VIX up 0.44 today, up about 1.6%, and we saw a massive spike in the VIX in the last hour of the market as we saw that massive drop. And like I said, it's here to stay, right? We have stimulus going back and forth. We have the election in literally under 3 weeks. We have the economy still doing right, although we got retail sales numbers that were pretty solid. And there's just a bunch going on, guys. And on top of that, we have earnings coming up, and there's just a lot, right? So the volatility is here to stay, and that's good for day traders, no doubt about it. That is extremely good for day traders. Not so good for swing traders. It makes it a bit more difficult for swing traders as the market is very volatile. But hey, I'll take it, and I'll make it work. And I'm sure you guys will make it work as well. We'll take what the market throws at us. We'll throw our biases out the window. I haven't talked about that in a while here, guys. Completely throw your bias out the window. If you're a bear, if you're a bull, if you're extremely bearish on the market, extremely bullish on the market, you're like, oh, it has to go down. Oh, it has to go up. Just throw that out the window and trade what's in front of you. Trade the trend, and the trend is your friend, right? It's going to help you out, just throwing out those biases. So at this point, that is what I'm seeing in the market. Volatility spiking a bit. We're seeing a pretty volatile up and down, iffy market heading into the weekend. And that kind of goes to show that kind of coincides actually with me not doing anything today, quite honestly. And we'll talk about that in a little bit here. And it's just me being cautious heading into the weekend. And when we take a look at the Dow ended up seeing very similar price action. We had a nice gap up this morning. We broke 28,500, big resistance from yesterday, right? We ended up breaking 28,700, another big resistance. We tried holding it as a support, but we failed. Obviously, as in Power Hour, we took a massive hit in the Dow Jones, but we're still holding a little uptrend here in the past 2 days. We're holding yesterday's closing price as a support. We're actually holding the 28,500 level pretty nicely here. We actually held above 28,600. So Dow Jones for next week, I'm looking at 28,700. Yep, you guessed it, guys. 28,700. If we break that level, it's likely we're going back up to test that high from earlier in October at about 28,950. And if that level breaks on the upside, that is where we might slowly start to climb up to all-time highs. And you guys don't know, or if you guys didn't know rather, we haven't hit all-time highs in the Dow Jones quite yet. This is the only index that has not hit the all-time highs. So Dow Jones looking pretty solid here. But again, it's going to be a deciding factor next week at 28,700, what it's going to do there in terms of direction. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ 100, take a look at what happened here, guys. This one's not looking as good as the S&P and the Dow. This one failed to hold 11,900, which is where we ended up closing yesterday. We actually blew right through that support. We tried holding it, but it did not hold. And we ended up closing at 11,852. So the NASDAQ's arguably in the most iffy spot out of the three major indexes here, at least from my personal opinion. And at this point, guys, we might be going back down to test that 11,780, 11,800 flat level. And if that breaks, oh man, guys, we might fill the gap all the way down to 11,500 here on the NASDAQ 100, which I think, quite honestly, is possible. I really think it's possible, especially if we fail at 11,800. I think we're going to go straight down to 11,500. That's just my personal opinion. So what do you guys think about the markets, about the technicals, where we're headed, the election? I know I don't like getting political here, but just let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And now let's talk about what I did. And again, I just mentioned 2 minutes ago, I didn't do anything today. And typically on Fridays, guys, I don't like forcing anything. I like playing it safe. I like just playing it safe, right? That's just a great way to put it, because it's uncertain times right now. Heading into the weekend, literally anything could happen. If we get bad news about stimulus, bad news about this, that, the third, who knows? If something pops up the markets could literally tank next week. And I'm already in positions. You guys know I'm in Apple, I'm in Electronic Arts, I'm in Workhorse, and what else am I in? I'm also in Intel. So I'm already in some positions. I'm playing offense here. I have money working for me there. And I'm also in a pretty good amount of cash. So I figured, let me just play it safe. I have some positions. I'll ride those out. And hey, if I miss a big gap up into Monday, it's not that big of a deal because, again, I already have positions that are working for me. So, yeah. At this point, I'm holding Apple at $115 per share. We ended up selling off about 1.4% today, but we're still holding 118, 119 as a support, which is a good sign here. If that does break, though, we might be going straight down to my average cost, quite honestly, right around 115. That is where I could see the downwards gap fill here on Apple. And like I said, I'm also in EA at about $133. I'm down a little bit on this position, but I'm not sweating it. This is a longer-term swing for me. I think once it breaks mid-130s, it's off to the races for EA, and especially because the new system's coming out, new games are coming out. You guys know all that good stuff is coming out in the next couple of weeks, and that's going to boost up the sales and the numbers and the hype, in my opinion at least, around a company like EA and even other companies like Activision, right? Activision, I love this one as well. Big resistance at 81, 82 bucks. Watch for that break for upside. And even Sony, guys, SNE. Sony's being down. It's not my favorite setup here. We're still downtrending. We're in this little downwards channel. So if we're able to break that on Sony, that could be a potential long play, but until we break this channel, I'm not really too interested in Sony. And honestly, guys, overall, I'm bullish on these video game companies. Sony, EA, Activision, and there's other ones too, but those are the main three at this point. But I just want to wait for confirmation here on Sony and Activision before potentially entering. And I'm also still in INTC. I'm swing trading this one, guys. I'm in at about $52.25. And my average cost, like I just said, I don't know why I said it twice, is $52.25, guys. And I plan on getting out anywhere from 55 to 56. That's kind of the plan at this point in time. And good old Workhorse, guys. It's green. Hallelujah. It's green. It's green, guys, after many days of onslaught for this stock. Take a look here on the 5-day, 5-minute. Ever since that USPS news came out, Roth downgraded them from a buy to, what was it, neutral. Price target went from 33 to 27. The stock's been getting hit from $30 to $21 in the past 3-4 days. Arguably an overreaction there. I think it is. And now we're slowly climbing back. We held 22, 21 bucks the past 3-4 trading days. That's looking good. So I'm looking for maybe a gap up on Workhorse to the mid-20s next week. We'll see what happens. And I'm personally in at about $24 per share. So I'm excited about it, guys. I'm not panicking whatsoever. You guys have to understand when you get into stocks like Workhorse that are very volatile, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. This is not Procter & Gamble. This is not Johnson & Johnson. This is not Coca-Cola, Pepsi. This is not Kimberly-Clark. This is Workhorse, guys. This is a company that really doesn't make much money. It's a bit speculative, and the future is relying on a USPS contract and a bunch of other companies maybe giving them a deal and the innovation of the company itself. So you guys have to realize there's risk involved, and that is why it's very fluctuant. It's very volatile. That's just the type of stock that it is. So let me know down below in the comments, what are you guys doing? Are you holding any of these stocks? Are you holding different stocks? Let me know down below in the comments. And while you're at it, guys, I haven't plugged in the Instagram in a while. Go follow me on Instagram at StockSurfFest if you guys want daily updates, call outs, and you guys want to see what I'm up to throughout the day. Go follow me on Instagram at StockSurfFest. And if you guys are enjoying the video, hit the like button. and make sure to subscribe to the channel. So what are some other stocks here that I'm looking to buy? Well, SPCE, I'm kicking myself a little bit here, guys. I'll be honest, and I almost had a bit of FOMO earlier in the day because SPCE is one that I was in at $21.30. I bought it like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and I ended up selling a couple days ago for not too big of a profit, and then lo and behold, today was the day it took off heavily. And again, you can't control everything in the market, guys. Obviously, you can't predict everything. I locked in profit. Profit is profit. I'm happy about it. I locked it in a couple days ago, but I was kicking myself a little bit, right? I saw it up a good chunk, and FOMO is fear of missing out. And it's kind of hard sometimes, but as you learn more, you're in the markets more, you know how to handle your emotions, but sometimes it's hard not to feed into it. And today, guys, I didn't feed into it. I didn't buy in here at 23, fearing to miss out the move, and ultimately it ended up panning out for me, right? We went from $23 to $22.30. So if I did buy that into the FOMO, right, I would have lost money. So that kind of goes to show FOMO, it could come back and bite you, guys. It can come back and bite you, but at this point, I'm glad it pulled down. Quite honestly, I'm glad it pulled down. Now it's opening up opportunity for next week, in my opinion. Quite honestly, guys, if $22 holds, if $22.50 holds, and even if we get down to 22 flat, I think this could be ultimately a nice long play, and my price target here in the short term is about $25, right? I'm really happy the way that it broke this big resistance here from the past couple of days, and at this point it's holding $22.40 at the close. So we'll see what happens, guys. If $22.50 holds, we could see a move to $25. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week after. Again, we don't know when it's going to happen, but I think it will happen at some point. And we have some test flights here. We have Richard Branson flying, hopefully, in Q1 of 2020, or 2021, rather. And we have earnings coming up here, which at this point, guys, they don't really have much revenue. And the only thing I look at earnings for with a company like this is how much cash they're burning, and really what's the guidance, and kind of really just the cash burn and the loss. That's what I'm interested in, and I like seeing losses trimmed down over time. I don't like seeing a company that's bleeding money more and more year after year, quarter after quarter. That's a bit worrisome, but again, we'll see what happens here when they report earnings, and a $25 price target is what I'm looking at. And I've been getting a lot of questions on Peloton, and right off the bat, guys, Peloton is a bit overbought. Quite honestly, it is scaring me a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of a divergence here on the RSI and the stock itself, right? RSI is showing a weaker move being made, although the stock is going up. Volume is also dropping as well, which is a bit worrisome here as the stock's going up. But we are pulling down today about 4%, down about $5.10, down about $8 off the high. So maybe this could be some sort of dip buy into the momentum. But quite honestly, and I don't know if we're going to get it, but honestly, guys, I'd like to see another $10 shed off the stock price, maybe down to $120, heck, maybe even down to $110, $100. That would be awesome, but we probably won't get that unless the overall market takes a big hit, or they just blow out earnings in a bad way. Let's say they do very bad in terms of earnings, then the stock could come down to $100, and honestly, $100 is where the sweet spot is, but again, who knows if it's going to happen, right? So that's my thoughts there on Peloton. A little bit overbought. We're seeing a weak volume, little bearish divergence, so be careful there. And JD.com is another one that's interesting, right at a big resistance here at about $82. We ended up going up today about 1.5%. I think if we break 82, there's a lot of short-term potential to 85, mid-80s, maybe up to 86.58, which is the resistance from back in the beginning of September. So watch the momentum here. And honestly, guys, a lot of these Chinese stocks have been crushing it, right? A lot of U.S. stocks have been crushing it, but a lot of the Chinese ones as well. I was actually looking at my Yahoo Finance app earlier, and I was like, holy crap, Baba is over $300. I haven't seen Baba in the past couple of weeks. Honestly, I haven't been looking at it at all. So that was pretty cool to see that over $300. And a bunch of other Chinese companies, right? Like Baidu is another one that's interesting that I'm keeping my eyes out on now on this little $8 dip from the high. So watch out for Baidu. A lot of momentum there. Watch out for JD.com. Those out of the main Chinese stocks are probably my favorite right now in terms of a potential trade. And MasterCard as well. I know we talked about this yesterday, but MasterCard's setup is still looking pretty decent right here, right? You guys can see we're squeezing up into this triangle wedge, whatever you guys want to call it. We're making higher highs, higher lows. Well, actually not higher highs quite yet because we haven't broke 367, but we're making higher lows. And I'm thinking if we break 340, 345, there could be a lot of upside, maybe up to the 350s. And I said yesterday, and this still stands, I'm looking at some call options on MasterCard, excuse me, guys, as well as CRM, which is another stock here that I'm watching, which is Salesforce. This is kind of a similar in terms of technicals to MasterCard, right? We're making higher lows, but not higher highs. We're kind of in this wedge. So if we break out, there's a lot of upside in my opinion. And plus Salesforce, they got upgraded from 275 price target to 325 by UBS. So watch out. Salesforce, there's upside. MasterCard, there's a ton of upside as well in my opinion. And same with IPOB, guys. I'm happy with today's pull down in IPOB. This is exactly what we were talking about in a couple videos ago, right? We said $27 is too overbought, very overbought. RSI was pretty much off the page, and I was telling you guys, wait for the pull down, be patient. And now looking back, obviously the market's closed right now, but now looking back, this is one of those stocks that maybe I could have bought today, but again, it's all right. We'll see what happens on Monday, and I'm sure I'm not going to miss too big of a move here. I could be wrong, but Monday could open up opportunities anywhere from $21.50 to maybe $22 here on IPOB. So I'm liking the dip here from 27 to 22. That's about a 15% profit margin opened. The 50 SMA is holding, so I'm very excited about IPOB, which is also known as Open Door, which is Chamath Palihapitiya. He's taken them public through Social Capital. Hedo Sophia Holdings here, which you guys can see is IPOB. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Pretty quick video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know down below in the comments. Shoot me your list of stocks down below, your thoughts on the market, the election, just everything, guys. Just what's your prediction? Honestly, what's your prediction? And I actually have a video coming out tomorrow morning, and I also want your prediction here. It's about a space stock. It's a certain space stock here that, in my opinion, is kind of flying under the radar a bit, under the radar. A lot of people might not know about it, so it's coming out tomorrow, a video in the morning, so be in tune for that. And drop a comment down below. What's your guess? I'm obviously not going to tell you what the stock is until you see the video, but let me know in the comments. What do you guys think this space stock is? Let me know in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out all the free links down below, the Discord chat, the Facebook group, and get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600. And that's it. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you all in tomorrow morning's video. Again, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think that stock is? Be safe out there. And yeah, hope you guys did well. Peace out.